Hello and welcome to Budget with Business Standard. I'm Ruchika Chitravanshi. Over the past few weeks, we have been bringing to you the stories around what is expected of this upcoming budget. In today's episode, we will focus on the big ticket items that we are expecting Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to announce. Let me first introduce you to our in-house experts, our editorial director, Mr. A.K. Bhattacharya, and our political editor, Archis Mohan. Welcome to the show, both of you. Let us start with you, AKB. A lot of expectations for relief for middle class, taxes. What is your sense? Can you say something with finality, something that you'll put your money on today?
No, the finality will come from the finance minister.
Of course.
What I can do is broadly give you a scenario of possibilities. One possibility, as you yourself pointed out, could be may not be the change in tax rates. I think tax rates are almost virtually ruled out, any change in the tax rates, but certainly in terms of the standard deduction that is given for the new tax regime, that might be enhanced and which will probably facilitate the switchover for many people who were still in the old tax regime to the new tax regime. That is probably on the cards. A second thing which the stock markets and the Indian corporate sector is keenly looking forward to is the concessional tax rate that was announced for new manufacturing companies in 2019 and that ended in 2023 was given an extension for 1 year which ended in March 31, 2024. Now there is a lot of clamor, a lot of justification that if you want to create jobs, if you want to give a push to the manufacturing sector, you need to extend that 15% plus cess rate of taxation on new manufacturing companies. So that is probably that extension of that old scheme beyond March 31, 2024 is very much a likelihood. And finally, I would say that the capital gains tax is something that the finance minister will have to deal with in her budget, but may not be a tax rate change, but perhaps a holding period change.
That's very, very pragmatic, AKB, and very well put. Let me come to you, Archis. We've been talking about political compulsions of this coalition government a lot in the context of this budget. One day before the budget, what are some of the political compulsions that you think you're getting sense that will play on FM's mind in this budget?
Okay, so there's a set of political compulsions. One, obviously, the lessons from the 4th June election result, the political compulsions of a coalition government, the political compulsion of imminent assembly elections in Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Haryana, and in Maharashtra and Haryana, the BJP didn't perform well in the Lok Sabha elections. The political compulsions are also evident with Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu having visited Delhi twice in the last fortnight, at least since 4th July. And he has submitted a wide array of demands, of which my sources have told me in the TTP that they're confident that the oil refinery demand, an oil refinery for Andhra,
BPCL.
yes, BPCL, could be a reality. That's what they are saying. Obviously, one should prejudge what the FM is going to say. And probably, again, that's one of their demands, and they are very hopeful that it will be fulfilled. That a package on the lines of the Bundelkhand package that the UPA government did in 2009, I think, which was probably to the tune of 9,000 crore. I don't know what the package would be this time, but they're hopeful that something similar for the backward areas of Andhra might be in store. I would like to point out that of the two coalition partners, the other being the JDU, the BJP is under more pressure from the TDP because TDP in Andhra does not rely on the BJP for the survival of its government. The TDP has a massive majority of its own. However, in Bihar, the Janata Dal United and Nitish Kumar have to rely on the BJP for continuance of that government because the single largest party within that alliance is the BJP. So the JDU, as we have witnessed, has not been that insistent on some of its demands. For example, special category status. So I think probably neither of the two states will get any special category status, quote unquote, but some of their demands would be acceded to.
And
Can I just add
yes, sure,
to
sure, sure.
what
Please.
Archie says, beautifully summarized? Don't rule out what the 16th Finance Commission will do, whose interim report may come later in the year. So it may not be in this budget, but some sort of a package for a backward state like Bihar or an upcoming state like Andhra Pradesh cannot be ruled out from the 16th Finance Commission's recommendations. So that is also a possibility. May not happen in this budget, but it will probably happen in the next budget.
Government also has enough fiscal headroom to accommodate these expenditures also, it
For
seems.
this year, yes, you are right. This year it's an year of opportunity in my view.
Will they use this opportunity to bring down the fiscal deficit or pump more money towards social sector schemes or towards these state packages?
My reading is that given the finance minister's track record, given the prime minister's adherence to an idea of fiscal consolidation as an article of faith, I think for all you know, she might rise in Lok Sabha and say that instead of 5.1% of GDP, I'm going to set the target at 4.9% or 5% of GDP. That is well possible, and it will mean that the private sector has got more money to play around with, and it will also send a signal to the global investing community that the global bond index, where India is now included, is a country that believes not only in fiscal consolidation but also in keeping the fisc under check.
It will improve our global ratings as well. Yes.
So the fear is that the government will come under pressure because of what happened in the elections and breach the fiscal targets. But if you look at what the state governments, particularly the BJP-run state governments, have done since June 4th, is try and address some of those concerns. So I think AKB would be able to tell us better. But I think some of those concerns, the state governments, reaching out to rural poor, reaching out to women, to farmers, livelihood issues, promising filling vacancies in at least state government-run jobs, some of the welfare schemes for the youth. So state governments, including poll-bound states like Maharashtra and Haryana, the state governments have done that.
So, if state governments have done that, what kind of job push will the budget have?
Look, I don't know whether this is in the realm of the budget, but there are at least 22 million to 3 million vacancies in central government jobs. If not now, soon enough, the government will need to start an exercise to fill those vacancies. Largely in most sectors, particularly in railways, which is one of the biggest employers. So,
Yeah, of course. AKB, you also said manufacturing sector will get a push.
Yes.
There's a talk of PLI expansion.
And taking off from where Archie's left about the states, it seems to me that the center will be the good boy as far as fiscal rectitude is concerned, and the freebies and the reveries will be the responsibilities of the states, depending on which party you belong to.
But as you've also pointed out so many times, that states also need to adhere to a good.
It is, after all, the total government deficit, the total government
Yeah.
expenditure, which is the center and the states combined, that matter more to the global investors, to the investing community here. So absolutely, the states also need to be fiscally correct.
Talking of states, any special package now expected for Bihar and Andhra Pradesh?
again, I think we discussed this. Neither Bihar nor Andhra Pradesh, to my knowledge, are insistent on the special category status. They're hopeful that their whatever their demands are, the center would heed them by way of special projects, special packages, and as AKP pointed that, and the Finance Commission later in the year through its devolution. So there'll be, for example, Andhra is very sure of an oil refinery, a BPCL oil refinery. It's very sure of a package for backward areas. It wants funds for rebuilding of Amravati, for the Polavaram irrigation project. Chandrababu Naidu in the last 1 month has brought out 4 white papers, one on Amravati, another on Polavaram, third on how he claims the poor state that the energy sector in Andhra is, and the fourth one on the alleged looting of resources by the previous government in Andhra. So they need some hand-holding because their pension and salaries bill has burgeoned. So let's see. But I don't think special category status is for the budget is on the
Of course, on the cards.
on the cards.
Okay. That's an important statement coming from Archis. The other big piece in the budget, AKB, is the capital expenditure. Now, because of the elections, the monsoons, we have not seen so much activity in capex so far. So, is there a case to increase capex when we've not been able to spend what was allocated in the interim?
I see it as an opportunity. If you haven't spent out of those 11.11 lakh crore of capex that the interim budget had provided for, if you haven't spent that pro rata share in the first quarter, it's an opportunity. I don't know why, because you will get those 9 months, coming 9 months, wherein you can use a larger share of that money and link it to the states and ask the states that provided you implement those reforms X, Y, Z, you will get that money. Now, what the states have done of late is take the money from the center and use it for other projects, other revenue projects. So there has to be a greater collaboration, greater consultation with the states to make sure that this capex is linked to that. But increasing a capex has a feel-good effect also for the economy. At a time when consumption is not rising, demand is not there, private sector is not investing, if you hear that the central government is saying, instead of a 17% growth, I'm going to give you 20% more, it immediately revives interest in the economy, and it creates some sort of, there is a chain effect which is good for the economy. And growth, after all, in this country has been driven largely by investment, not by demand. So therefore, the government will have to rely more on the capex. So I am hopeful that the government will not, lift its pedal, sort of,
Of course. So more cooperative federalism on the cards. So you're saying states will play a big role in.
I think the states will play a bigger role in the sense that this is also the kind of the mandate that you got, the BJP got. I think there is room for greater collaboration with the states. I was pleasantly surprised to see that the agriculture and the rural development minister, right from day one of his assuming office, was holding consultation with the state agriculture minister and giving projects to the state agriculture ministers to do projects for the use of the center. Like Punjab agriculture minister has been asked to prepare a note on how the statistical system in the agricultural space can be beefed up. So this kind of approach, I think, is good news for collaboration with states.
Please, okay. Last word for Archie.
Yeah, so a budget, beyond the budgeting exercise, it's also perception management exercise, political perception. So what we have seen in the last few weeks is, for example, the Cabinet Committee on Skill Development and Employment has been renamed as Cabinet Committee on Skill Development, Employment and Livelihoods. Okay, so the government is trying to manage some kind of perception there. The other is, in 2023 budget speech, the FM spoke about not just women, youth and farmers, but also OBCs, SCs, STs, distinct categories. In 2024, it was just those 4 pillars. In the president's speech, it was again those 4 pillars. But what the election results have told us, and what the UP BJP, for example, or even in Haryana, where Amit Shah, the Union Home Minister, addressed backward classes Sammelan, they've started talking about specific castes, because it's these specific castes that have deserted the BJP. So I'm wondering whether the FM would try and address, let's say, scheduled castes specifically, or sections of OBC specifically, go beyond the 4 pillars
That very beautifully sums up the essence of this show, where we have an economic expert like AKB and a political expert like Archis, that this budget is not just going to be about fiscal consolidation and fiscal management, but also about perception management. It's Archis very nicely pointed out. Thank you so much for watching our shows. Please stay tuned. This evening, we will bring you a special episode on the economic survey. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.